if a blacksmith hammered out your signature in red hot steel, would that be considered forging your signature?
You know what? I liked it the second time around as well. That was good. I liked it.
All right. Yeah. So welcome back, Weekenders, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Weekend from A to Z. This episode covers the weekend up to December the 7th, 2020. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at theweekenda2z@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at A to Z Weekend. You can search for us on YouTube. Past that, you can go to anchor.fm/A to Z Weekend, where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast.
What up, guys? I'm Justin.
I'm Alan.
Hey, I'm Scott.
Hey, guess what? We are back up to 20 subscribers on YouTube. So we now again have tens of subscribers.
Yes.
And we have somebody that submitted a question.
Hey.
Through the comments. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks for submitting a question. That's
So
great.
I think what we should... What?
His name is Jorge Miave.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think what we'll do going forward is any questions that we get from listeners, we'll go ahead and, when they get picked on the wheel, we'll give you guys a shout out and let you know your question got answered, asked,
Selected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks Jorge. Thanks a lot. We certainly appreciate it. Anybody else who wants to submit a question for our wheel of questions, please just put it in the comments.
In the comments.
I have a question back to Jorge. Jorge, how many times do people call you George, asininely so?
Wait, what if his name is George?
Well, it's spelled George. So more commonly, we are in Texas.
Would say Jorge.
We have a lot of Hispanic people, and so it's Jorge. But I'm just curious as to how many people call you George, and it makes your brain go, Jesus, that's not my name.
It's a good question. So you guys want to get into some tech news?
Give it to me.
All right. So tech news.
Go smack that baby. Smack him. Give him something to cry about.
He's hungry right now, and he's like doesn't want to. I don't know. He wants to eat, but he doesn't want to eat.
Welcome to 2. It's
he's been doing that before. He's not even 2 yet. He's been doing this for a while.
Oh, I know. It's just it is what it is. It's this. I'm hungry, and I'm mad because I'm hungry, but I can't eat because I'm mad. But if I eat, I won't be mad anymore.
It's the circle.
But I can't put any of this together because
I want that food, but I don't
to.
want you to give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's never.
Like, I want that food, but he's like, buddy, but I got to cook it though. Like, I want to eat it now. Like, well, it's not cooked. You're not going to be happy.
So before we get started and jump into the thing, we're talking about food. I found what I think are the best beef sticks I've ever had in my life.
Oh.
They are from the Sweetwood Smokehouse. They're called Fatties.
That was my nickname in high school.
Yeah. They're 13 grams of protein, grass-fed. This is the 2-ounce size, so 13 grams of protein, grass-fed beef and pork, no antibiotics, 1 gram of sugar, gluten-free, 200 calories. And they taste really good. And they have other flavors. They have a jalapeno flavor, and then they have a honey barbecue flavor. The honey barbecue flavor has, a higher sugar content because it has barbecue sauce and stuff in it. And of course it tastes better. But for having a gram of sugar in a 2-ounce thing, dude, it's real good for like quick protein. It's tastes good.
I can taste it now.
And I can get them to, and I found these at, Quick Trip at QT.
Hey, Justin.
Yep.
How often do you put a fatty in your mouth?
3-4 times a week, probably.
Wow. It's impressive.
Oh, do you mean joints? I don't smoke.
Oh. Sure.
Uh-huh.
Ron Jeremy.
Anyway, hit us with the
Apple has announced their AirPods Max is their over-ear noise canceling headphones. They dropped the 15th of December, and they're available for $549.
Oof.
Kiss my ass, Apple. Kiss my ass.
I mean, I read a review, and the review was good, but at the same time, they were just like, there's other headphones, Bose and Sony, that do the exact same thing for like $200 cheaper.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I'm looking, so the headphones that I'm using now are Beats and I'm going to get another pair of, as far as headphones go, they're good. They don't have noise canceling or active noise cancellation or anything like that. They're good. The problem I have is that the one of the earpieces, the cover's trying to come off of the foam. And I looked at the Sony ones, which are like, if you Google top, like 2020 top rated headphones, they're the first thing that comes up. They're the number ones, and they're only like $280.
Yeah.
For
I mean, the Apple ones, okay, I'll give Apple this. They're designed very nicely. They look phenomenal to me.
Sure
However,
do, yeah.
I mean, it's a lightning port. There's not a 3.5 millimeter jack. So like if you're on an airplane, you have to use a stupid dongle, which Apple will sell to you for $35.
Yeah, that's the thing that's getting me with Apple is everything they have is an extra. Now everything is an additional charge. Hey, do you need a power brick? That's a new charge. You just bought an iPhone 12. You need a power brick?
$25 for a power brick. It's like,
here's
I can go get one on Amazon for like $10.
Hey, do you need headphones? You can buy those too.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a charge.
Yeah, they come in a bunch of different colors. They look really nice.
Look at that case.
But yeah, the case is weird. That doesn't look like
the case. Looks like a butt.
It looks like a purse.
It does look like a purse.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like normally you would want like a case that's kind of hard shell that it'll actually protect your headphones when you just toss them in a bag or a suitcase. That's not going to protect your headphones at all.
Especially the part that goes around your head, because that's the part that's more than likely going to break easier.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a lot of controversy around the Warner Brothers HBO Max streaming push.
Yes.
There's a ton of controversy about it. I've been reading about this, and it's been...
I'm fine. I'm happy with it.
Well, I get to watch... The end user will be happy.
You mean I get to watch Dune at my house?
I know. On my stereo, my 4K TV. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love a cinematic experience. I love going to the movies. Yeah. I mean, that was, what my wife and I did before the pandemic. On the weekends, we would, twice a month, if not more, we'd go to the movies. It's expensive as shit, but we'd go to the movies. And it was a great way to get out of the house and do something or whatever. But in times like where we are now, and I understand why they're doing it. I mean, they have all these movies on the set to release. You're just going to keep pushing everything back.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well.
I don't know if you're going to get that many subscribers like they're thinking. And then like a movie comes out, I'm going to subscribe for a month and I'm dropping it. Hey, my kids need clothes. Go to Cinemark.
No, I think you're right, Scott. I think you're right. I think that, I mean, they're doing this now so that obviously there's a stream. I think that, I mean, streaming has gone up exponentially since the whole lockdown, and then we're kind of back open, and we're back open, and I don't know what's going on now. But so streaming has been huge now. And I mean, so with that being said, I think the people that want HBO Max have already gotten it. The people that don't want it will still try to find whatever. They'll come up with their own excuse to not buy it. But to your point, Scott, I think that there's going to be a lot of people that I'm just going to do it just to go so I can watch these movies, and then I'm going to cancel it. But however, you can't do it on the trial. So if you do the trial subscription, which is like, whatever, a month for free, you don't get the movies.
Gotcha. Well, there's something there.
Yeah.
Just they're gonna, I don't know. Hey, I've seen how Cinemark cleans their theaters. They are very thorough because they want you in there. I go to the movies probably every other week. I've got a private screening with 20 of my friends, which are going to be spread out through the whole theater next Thursday. And then we've got our tickets for Wonder Woman at the theater already. So again, my wife works for Cinemark, so we are going to support Cinemark. And I know that they take care of they want people in, so they clean their cinemas very well.
I think it's going to be, I mean, and I agree. I've only been, since lockdown happened, I went and saw Tenet in the theater when it, the week after it opened. And the theater, it wasn't a Cinemark that I went to, but it was a very clean, very nice theater. I was super impressed with the way that they handle everything. But there's just nothing out. And I think if the way that that Warner Brothers is doing it, where they are putting the movies out both in theaters and streaming, that may be something that helps it. Because it's not just, it's not like Disney where with Mulan, where it was like, it's only on the app now. It's released. These things are going to be released in theaters and on streaming. So if you want to go to the theater, dude, go for it. They're clean. They're taking care of stuff. It's, when I went, I felt extremely safe. Everything was wonderful. But if you're not comfortable with that, it's there for you to enjoy at home. But there are some movies that I'm going to want to see in the theater. I want to see Dune on the big screen.
Oh, so I'd love to see Dune on the big screen. Quiet Place 2 is another one I want to see in the theater.
We got Top
because you're going to have the surround. Because obviously in the theater, it's going to be way better sound than you can ever get in a home theater. In your home setup. And on top of that, because Quiet Place is supposed to be a quiet movie. You're supposed to be like listening for like every little bitty noise, and being at home, you got cars driving by. I got cars racing up and down the street, motorcycles. There's kids and people talking outside. I mean, there's people talking outside like 3 in the morning yesterday, just loud as heck too. And I'm like, dude, what in the world is going on? But so yeah, I mean, there's nothing. The movie theater experience is very nice. I do enjoy it.
Yeah,
I looked up the Cinemark app today, and they actually have some quite a few new movies that are out. They're not your big blockbuster movies, but they are releasing new movies. Ones that are fillers between your blockbusters. So there are new movies out right now. I'll give you all a list later. Maybe that's what we'll do.
Okay. And it's one of those things like we'll have to figure out what we do on Christmas, because usually in years that were normal, my family, we did Christmas on Christmas Eve, and on Christmas Day it was just us, usually just my wife and I, and that's what we would do. We would go to the movies on Christmas Day. I mean, that was whatever the blockbuster was that year. Usually that's what we would see. And it'll be weird not being able to do that, or with Wonder Woman opening, I'll just have to look and see if that's what we want to do.
I will tell you, with Wonder Woman, that's what day we're going. We got our tickets for Christmas Day. When I went to get my tickets, selection was few, because they do put 2 seats between your family and the next family, and there was only 2 times during that day that I could get tickets for. The rest of the showings were filled up. I can't talk. Use your words, Scott. Use your words.
Filled up.
Yeah.
Filled up.
Fulcrum over. What?
So Destiny 2 fans, Bungie has announced crossplay is coming in 2021. So now, in 2021, they're crossplay playing. So basically, an Xbox person can play with somebody on PlayStation and PC. However, there's been like a lot of debate, or not debate. There's been a lot of discussion regarding PC and the cheats that they have available, and how Bungie needs to have more robust measures in place to keep cheaters out of the competitive stuff, because that could get really annoying with Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris. Yeah,
I don't know. It's very cool that they're finally going to allow cross play, but I don't know. But
it's been something that's been in the works. I mean, ever since they were under Activision, PlayStation had a lot of exclusives, so that's why crossplay wasn't a thing. And then they got out from under Activision, and now they've gotten out from under Activision. On top of that, there's no more like PlayStation exclusives, so that's just paving the way to like, hey, now we're going to actually allow crossplay so that people in both camps can actually play with and against each other. And listen, we're all in it together. That's what I get out of this. We're all in it together. We all like playing the same video game, so why not be able to play together? It just increases their community, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's fine. We'll see you work in IT, I work in IT. There's going to be big bugs when it comes up. Somebody on Xbox can do something. Well, and that was the other thing, if I'm memory serves, and it's not necessarily with Destiny 2 or with Bungie, but it was one of those things where I'm going to totally make this up, but let's say Spider-Man, something, Spider-Man, if you had it on a PS4, it would have done, you had these extra things that if you had it on Xbox, you wouldn't have those things, or there were different things or whatever. And I think that's the thing that would be annoying in games. It's like, oh, well, we have this much better armor over here, or at least it looks cooler or whatever.
Yeah. So that was a lot of the PS exclusives that they had, because you know the new releases and stuff would go to PlayStation first. So PlayStation would get like 1 or 2 extra matches, like an extra strike and like an extra Crucible map or something, and then they get like a couple different weapons that wouldn't be available on the Xbox for months down the line. Which that can get really annoying. But yeah, I mean, you're right. There's going to be there will be bugs. There's always bugs. So we'll see how well it works out. Halo Infinite is actually finally launching in fall of 2021. 343 Industries. Is that what Industries? 343. I'm just going to call them 343. They've actually gone back and retooled a lot of their graphics because they heard the complaints during the Series X reveal about how the game wasn't up to snuff as far as graphics. Like, hey, well, this is a next-gen system. We're expecting next-gen graphics. And there was a lot of complaints about that. So 343 heard the complaints, and they have remedied and released a couple screenshots of the new armor pieces, as well as some of the backgrounds and in the environments. And it looks fantastic. I'm excited. I love Halo. YouTube is now removing videos disputing Biden's election. I thought was interesting.
It's more, I saw that story and I thought it was more than that. It's not just things that are disputing the election. It's one of the, I think it was more to the fact of like, if it certainly has false information or false accusations, that's what they're removing. You can dispute whatever you want to. It's just the fact that it's like you can't say that there was tons of voter fraud. I mean, there have been court cases about this, over 50 of them, and they've all been
denied
with no basis or evidence found.
Yeah. The Google Pixel 2 has gotten its last update, so no more Pixel 2 updates. If you have one, time to upgrade. In other news,
what version are they on now?
It's Android 10, I think. 11.
No, but of the phone. So the Pixel 2 is not getting 5. They're on Pixel 5. That's just kind of like exactly what Apple did. It's like, hey, after, we're not going to support. We're at the iPhone 12 now, so
your
we're not
iPhone 5 is not going to be supported anymore.
Which is. I hate the built-in obsolescence.
Good luck to you if you're still using like an iPhone 6. I'm sure people are out there.
How are you?
Dude, I remember when I had the first iPhone I got was an iPhone 4, and that was back before they had introduced the wireless updates. So you had to plug it in, and I never did. And finally my phone got so laggy and shitty that I had to, and it was like having a brand new phone. It was amazing. It was like, this is the best thing in the world. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand why. But if I'm spending $1,000 on something, I would like for it to last more than a couple of years before it's obsolete.
Yeah.
What else do you spend $1,000 on that lasts more than a couple of years?
Well, most
TVs.
things.
Okay. Yeah, most things. I would say TVs, computers.
Phones.
TVs,
computers, cars. I mean, it's one of those things where they're with smartphones and things of that like, they're getting to the point to where the next thing up is buying a car. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's like there's not or some sort of vehicle or whatever. But there's built-in, there's that built-in obsolescence with these things. Like, okay, let's say you get into bike riding, like mountain biking, real heavy. Well, there are mountain bikes out there that cost thousands of dollars, and they're gonna last a long time. You can get better gear and stuff like that on them, and you'll have to do maintenance on them and stuff, but it's not going to be like, hey, after 3 years, your wheels are now squares and you can't ride it anymore.
Yeah, that wasn't a question. The thought. It was just I was trying to things. Because for $1,300 now for an iPhone, I don't ever. It should only be when I want to choose to move up to a different version, not when.
I mean, I understand that like things are going to get faster. I understand that most of the apps wouldn't work on an iPhone 5 that work on space issues and speed issues and things along those lines. But
I feel like an iPhone 5 sometimes.
Yeah.
In other news,
I can't think of anything else. Like what? Like a stove?
Yeah, I was gonna say kitchen appliances are another thing. Like, you spend thousands. The washer and dryer we bought. I mean, the washer was like $1,000. The dryer was like another $1,000.
Yeah, but those are gonna last for
7, 10, 8, 9 years. Yeah.
And you can fit in them.
Yeah, you can. You can. It's
and
huge.
if it gets real bad, you can hire someone to come fix it.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Other news I've got: Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico suffers more. Well, it's collapsed. The radio structure has collapsed on this tower. On the sorry, my cat's moving down here. On the radio telescope. So it's been out of commission for a while.
Well, it had been in the process of being decommissioned.
Yeah.
But they weren't expecting a catastrophic failure like what they had. I mean, they were going to at some point try to open it up as kind of a tourist attraction or at least have science centers there and stuff. But with the fact that it just
video
completely
there is
collapsed.
Drone footage. There's drone footage of like the cable snapping. And then like it's coming unwound and then it's just snaps and the whole thing, the middle part of it just comes down like 900 tons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Rebecca Jones is a health scientist who built Florida's COVID-19 dashboard and was praised for it. She was later fired for refusing to manipulate the data to justify allowing the state to reopen. Florida police have raided her home and taken her equipment that she was using to maintain a separate COVID-19 tracker. Oh, we lost you, Justin. We can't hear you.
Am I there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. The video footage, it must have been. I don't know if it was a Nest camera in her house or a Ring camera or something like that. It was actually in her house when the officers came in. It's real. I mean, it was like they were taking down a drug dealer. I mean, there wasn't a. It was. When they say that they confiscated her stuff, it wasn't like a, hey, you got your laptop in your bag, here's a warrant, you're giving, here's a search warrant, you're giving that to us. It was, armed officers going into her home, and like in the
with
video, you can hear her say, "You're pointing a gun at my child."
Was this the Gestapo?
This was the Florida police.
Might as well have been. So it sounds like. Chuck Yeager, the pilot who first broke the sound barrier, passed away at 97 years old. Yeah.
That's a good life, though. That's a good long life.
Yep. He tested the X-1 in October of 1947, although the feat was not announced to the public until 1948.
I had to do, when I was in the 6th grade, I did it was a project that we had to do. We had to pick a notable person and kind of dress as them and be able to answer questions about them and all of that kind of stuff and have people. And I chose Chuck Yeager. At the time, I wanted to be a Navy fighter pilot, and he was my idol. Great guy, great humanitarian. He could be kind of an asshole sometimes, but I mean, you're not a test pilot if you don't have balls of steel. But no, he was my favorite fact about Chuck Yeager was the only reason that he was not an astronaut and considered and to be the first man on the moon was because he did not have a college education. To be an astronaut, you have to have a degree.
Really?
That was the only reason.
Wow.
But yeah, that was one of the things that, I mean, he was, absolute hero of mine. Great dude.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Right Stuff over at Six Flags. Little Right Stuff ride that you would go in the room and it was like a movie theater and they played pretty much the X1 going through the sound barrier, or not the X1, but they played like a F-15 or something.
So was that the original Right Stuff movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a new series on Disney that I started watching.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I think it's like the National Geographic part of Disney Plus, I think.
Okay. So there's actually been a debate on the height of Mount Everest, with a new agreed measurement for the height of Mount Everest, making the summit nearly 30 feet higher when it was first calculated 164 years ago. The mountain's height has been the subject of furious debate since 1856, when a British team first calculated its height at 29,002 feet. But China and Nepal, the nations that the mountain borders, both agreed on the new measurement after separate calculations, announcing Tuesday that its official height is 29,031.7 feet tall.
I measure daily and hope for height increased.
I thought you were going to say something else.
So did I. Nice way to subvert, sir. Nice way to subvert.
Yes.
Listen, dude, if we can, how much better is technology now to measure and calculate things like that? So yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Jupiter and Saturn will form the Christmas star on December the 21st, the first visible double planet in 800 years.
Ooh, a double planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've started looking at telescopes. I don't know. I've always liked astronomy, but I've started looking at like telescopes, like hardcore. Like I want to get a telescope, like a really nice one, not like, I'm not trying to spend $1,000 on the thing, but $200-$300 on like a nice telescope where I can actually like see stuff and maybe some deep space objects. I think I'd get a real kick out of it. I know I'd get a kick out of it.
It's going to be
the Night Sky app.
I have, yeah.
Love that thing.
Yeah. I've looked at, so we can get into the weekend stuff later. Yeah, let me finish this up. So the Alien series announced by Marvel Marvel Comics has announced that they've obtained the rights to publish the comics based on the Alien film franchise after its parent, the Walt Disney Company, acquired 20th Century Fox.
very cool.
Yeah.
I think Marvel will do a very
really
good job.
Oh, yeah.
It will be interesting to see what they do or how they do. I assume if they have, I don't know. I assume if they have Alien, they also have Predator.
I'm
not sure who owns that. I'm not sure if that's a Universal property or what.
Okay.
But no.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. Because the last couple Alien movies, not the Alien, I'm thinking the Predator movies. Never mind. The Alien movies, I think, have always been pretty good. It's the Predator ones that seem to get kind of hokey.
Alien 3 and Alien 4 kind of sucked.
Sorry.
It was just the first two Alien movies were good, and I agree with you about the Predator movies. I've not been a huge fan, and the last couple of Predator movies were not great at all.
Yeah.
Did who were the creators in Prometheus? Have they gotten involved with the Alien?
They created the Alien.
Oh,
yeah. Well, they didn't create it. They found, I don't know, I guess they were experimenting on this planet and realized what they were combining with, hey, if you combine this DNA with this DNA, it makes the alien. And they're like, yeah, we're going to leave it here. We're not going to mess with it.
Yeah, it's...
I still have questions about Prometheus and the movie afterwards. It's still like, I still have a ton of questions, like why? And a bunch of the questions are, that's why. Like, why is this? Why this?
The movie after it, what was that one?
It wasn't Prometheus 2. I forget what it was called.
It started with a C.
Chlamydia?
No, it wasn't chlamydia.
I don't know.
Let's see.
While you're looking that up, I wanted to go through some tech news that I just saw today that Apple is removing.
Alien Covenant.
That's what it is. Alien Covenant. Yeah.
Covenant. Man, have I not seen that? We might be looking that up.
It's good. It's just it's good and it's weird because you realize a lot of stuff about one character. You're like, what?
No, there was a lot of with those movies. They just
too many gaps.
It's the difference between continuing a franchise and making a prequel. once you put something in a prequel and that means that it's canon and that's what it is, it's hard to swallow, especially for people that love the movie. So let's take, for example, the Star Wars prequels. You ever heard of midichlorians? How much do you hate that shit?
Yeah.
Because they just took this omnipresent force and said that it's these little bugs that help you to, if you're force sensitive, you have a lot of them and you can move stuff with your brain.
Yeah.
That's not, that's ruins that kind of stuff. So yeah, stop making prequels. Just stick to continuing a franchise.
I mean, I'm okay with them making prequels because I mean, they left the Prometheus, they left the ending, they left it wide. I mean, clearly wide open. You've seen it, Scott, right?
I've seen Prometheus a couple of
times. Yeah. She jumps on the ship and then they take off. Her and David, they take off. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, there's gonna be a sequel. So I need to know what happens because I got the same question that Naomi had. Like, why did they leave? What happened? What was wrong with us as humans, as far as the movie goes, what was wrong with us that made them go, we're not going to mess with this. And yeah, to get to Alien Covenant and then you're watching this and then, I don't know, just to me, it was too many gaps. Like you get to Alien Covenant and then you've figured out like these other characters have died and this, that, and the other. So it's like, well, now this person doesn't have answers. I don't have answers for this person. And I'm still stuck with the same questions from the last one. And I don't think that they were really answered in Alien Covenant.
I need answers.
I want answers.
I demand answers.
Yeah. My last bit of other news has to do with Costco. Certain stores have posted that they will not be accepting returns on the following items: toilet paper, paper towels, rice, water, sanitizing wipes, and Lysol.
Hey, for those out there, we don't need to go on a rush on this stuff.
Listen, I mean, the thing I sent to you guys, which I saw on Facebook, was during this whole pandemic, I'm surprised to find that some people's survival instinct is to go buy up all the toilet paper.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Well, listen, I understand buying a little extra. Sure. If you're a household of 4, and now there's 4 people are going to be at home all the time, and where they would use the bathroom outside of the house sometimes, and you don't need that toilet paper. Yeah, you may need to double up. Sure, I get that. And if everybody doubled up, we'd still be okay. Instead of buying 1 packet, you buy 2. But when you see these assholes with cartloads full, it's like, what are you thinking? We've talked about this.
This isn't nuclear winter. You're not going to be like underground for 30 years. You'll be okay.
Let's say you are. Do you really think you're like 3-month supply of toilet paper? What are you going to do then? Stupid. What then? It's not. I'm glad that Costco's not doing it. I think that's great. There was some. What did I see? I saw something at one point in time. It was a like a YouTube video or something, and some dude had come back to a store to do like you were saying in Costco, and it was like he was trying to return a bunch of hand sanitizer and a bunch of toilet paper, they were like, no, dude, you eat it. You eat it. We're not giving you.
You wanted to be a jerk and
back.
try to buy it all up. Yeah, no.
So no, there's no way I would. No, they can eat it, and it is a man-made issue. I mean, it's one of those things. So, how often do you buy toilet paper? Once a month, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's say once a month.
Yeah.
So buy it twice a month. Yeah. And you're not going to hurt the supply chain.
No.
Yeah, it's one of those things. No.
That's all the news I got, guys.
I wanted to add something to the tech news.
Sure.
Apple is removing the charger from the phone.
Okay, well, that's the rumor. The charging port, that's the rumor so far for the iPhone 13. No charging port.
To me because that screws my Apple Play in my car.
Which I called when the iPhone 12 was announced. I was like, listen, I'm going to call this now. The next iPhone, no ports.
No ports.
That's
I don't know why they didn't just jump to USB-C. I still don't know why they didn't do that.
I don't like it.
I'm not a fan of removing the charging port.
No,
but
no,
because the wireless charging is not that fast. It's not that great. You can't use your phone at the same time while it's charging.
Maybe there's no.
What do you mean you can't use your phone? Like you can't listen to music?
Oh no. So you can listen to music. What I'm saying is like, so if I have a wired cable,
yeah, like I can be on the phone,
cable,
yeah,
and I plug it into my phone. I can still kind of walk around a little bit and like text on it if I need to real quick, watch a quick video, emails or whatever. But if it's on like a charging pad, and I put my phone on it to charge, now I have to like text. Oh, I got to send this text message. I got to pick it up. Now it's not charging. It's a minor annoyance, first world problems, but
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, a first world problem, but the wireless charging isn't fast. It's not efficient. It's not fast. It puts more heat in the phone, which degrades your battery.
Maybe they got a fix for that when it comes out.
No. If it's going to do that, they're just going to, it degrades your battery faster. Then you have to either get a new battery or a new phone faster.
Yeah, you got to go. Well, you have to go through them because if you go somewhere else to replace it, hey, who knows? You're going to get all these like warning messages popping up because you didn't use a certified Apple installer.
Well, it was I've seen videos where it was like a guy got two identical, other than color, iPhone 12s and changed the
camera module.
He
tried to swap the camera modules.
He swapped the camera module and it didn't brick his phone, but it wasn't. It was much more difficult to use, and it threw up a bunch of warnings. You couldn't use face recognition anymore.
The camera would crash constantly. Yeah. Yep. Scott, you got any F1 news?
I do. Give me a second, kind of put things together here.
Sure.
This weekend was probably the best race I have seen this year.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about the track in Bahrain. It was the second weekend in Bahrain, 3.5 mile. And so last week they went on the inside of the track. This past week they went on the outside, shorter track. So quite a few more laps, 87 laps to be precise on that. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, so I don't know if y'all know, but Hamilton tested positive for COVID, so didn't run in his car. They pulled a guy named George Russell from the Williams team, probably one of your lower ranked teams in F1. He drives for F1 in F1 right now, but lower ranked team. The guy is amazing, but you put him in that car and holy cow, he led for, oh man, I got it here. Hang on. Led for 62 laps.
Wow. Holy cow. That's amazing.
Fastest time on the track. So you start to wonder, okay, is it the driver or is it the car? I would have to say after seeing this weekend, it's probably both, and it's probably the team. And I will have to say the team screwed him so bad. Oh, my goodness. So lap 62, caution lap, they brought in Russell, followed by Bottas, with hopefully a 5-second delay between the two. But that 5-second delay came so fast that Bottas had to wait in the pit area before he could move forward, which caused a lot of confusion with the pit team. Russell took off. They mix-matched his tires with Bottas.
Oh, dude.
So Bottas went into the pit. They put on Russell's old tires by accident on Bottas. So Russell had to come back into the pit, threw him back in 14th spot.
Yeah. Ouch.
Was running number one with a 10-second lead all night. Bottas, he was back and forth, but that stuck him way back in the back as well because they both had to go back in and repit, get the tires right. Actually, Bottas, different story. Anyway, with at 62 laps, Russell drove the hell out of that car, came back, got to third position, and then got a tire puncture.
Oh.
So he finished way back in the back. Okay, so first Mexican to ever win a Grand Prix, Sergio Perez, with an hour and 32 minutes. followed by
Nice.
Esteban Ocon, 10 seconds behind him, and Lance Stroll, 11 seconds behind him. Fastest lap, like I said, went to George Russell at 55 seconds. One lap in 55 seconds.
Wow.
Okay, so going back to the pit fiasco, Russell spent a total of 53.4 seconds in the pit that race. Now, remember, when they go in the pit, it's a 4 second. I mean, it's anywhere from 2.5 to 4 second pit stops. He was in that pit total, that race, 53 seconds.
It's a long time.
Bottas in the pit for 1 minute and 17 seconds. When he went in that first time, they got all that stuff squirrely. The gun didn't work. He couldn't put the tire. Oh my goodness. It was such a mess.
So when they were doing all this, was there, I mean, because you see the guys like losing, I mean, I would have been losing my mind.
Yes. Oh, yes. There was quite a bit of looking around thinking, oh, this isn't working, Anyway, yeah. Bunch of confusion. Max Verstappen, who is typically in the lead, turn 4, got knocked out of the race, pushed into the wall, cracked some wheels. And Charles Leclerc, who races for, who you're looking at right now, drives the hell out of the car. I think I found my driver in F1. I wanted to say he's aggressive, but he attacks these turns. Watch this right here. I mean, he's awesome. Although
he's nailing the apexes.
He got wrapped up.
He's a professional driver, so
as well.
I would expect him to. Yeah. No, I was like, he's nailing the apexes, and I was like, well, he's a professional driver. I would expect him to.
Yeah, that should not be. That's exactly what he should be doing. That's literally his job.
Yeah, that's what he does. So an amazing race, guys. So the other thing that I did is I found a way of watching it at home because I'm going to tell you, Brian Towers, I'm calling you out. You went and did something else today and didn't let me come over and watch the race, so I had to pay for F1 TV.
Oh, Mr. Towers.
Yes, he lost a friend because I will not – dude, I had the race on my computer screen, and on my phone I was tracking 2 different drivers, and you'll see – so like what you see in the background right now is my computer screen.
Yeah.
And then in a second you'll see 2 drivers on top of each, statistics. That's me. That's a screenshot from my phone. So you talk, and you could pick what driver car camera you wanted to follow. That's how I'm watching Leclerc right here.
Okay.
And the stats, as you go back and look at the stats that are on the screen, I mean, it's just everything is just, I know where I'm going to be watching the races from now on. I'm just cracking out on this, but
that's awesome. Very cool.
What a beautiful race. So heartbreaking. Hamilton is a little prima donna, and you were hoping the best for Russell. So you're just seeing him 63 laps leading, fastest times on the track. And then that fiasco in the pits just screwed him so bad and just heart-wrenching. Wow, I never really thought that I would have cared that much. But what a race. What a race. And we got our last race this weekend in Abu Dhabi. If you have a chance to record it and watch it, I highly recommend it. What a beautiful track. They will run at night. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous track. Abu Dhabi this weekend. We'll be looking for you.
Very cool. In other car news, I know this is through this episode goes through the 7th. So we're gonna take it a day a day after that to the 8th. On Tuesday the 8th, Gymkhana 2020 premiered.
Nice.
Oh yeah, dude.
And it is this year. It is not Ken Block.
Nope.
It is Travis Pastrana driving a Subaru WRX STI.
The gorgeous car.
And it is
all carbon body.
Absolutely amazing. It's absolutely it is not an all carbon body.
I thought it was. Most of it.
It has no. They have on the Hoonigan YouTube channel. They have a build breakdown of the car. It is mostly a carbon body.
Sent that to me. I did not watch it.
Yeah, it is mostly a carbon body, but it has factory doors.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So there's still some factory stuff on the car.
The doors.
Interesting. I did read an article. It was like Torque News. Now I take that with a grain of salt, but they talked about Gymkhana 2020, and they actually they were like, "Is this a preview of what the next Subaru STI motor is going to be?" Because the 2. They were saying, well, the car in Gymkhana had a 2.3 liter, and they were like, Subaru doesn't make a 2.3 liter.
It is not a 2.3 liter.
Yeah,
it is an EJ 2.0 that they've bored and honed to 2.3
to a 2.3.
Yeah. It is not an FA. It's still an EJ. Which, I mean, listen, I understand why they did that. I mean, here's the thing: they were able to pump that car to 850 horses. I mean, it is flying. It's an absolutely ridiculous vehicle. It makes no sense.
One really cool thing I remember seeing.
There are so many canards on the sides.
Oh yeah.
It's but it's active aero. I mean, that's. I mean, it's there for a reason.
And you actually see the rear wing too. There's a button there's a console thing that he does, and it actually operates the rear wing. Yeah.
Yep.
To make it either more aerodynamic or increase drag.
Yep.
There's one thing that Scott, you sent me a while back, it was like a preview of Gymkhana 2020 where they used the car. He was testing tires, and they had the cone set up to perform certain stunts. And it's cool to actually see that and then see Gymkhana and then go, oh, this is where he did that stunt. Like, I remember this because they had cones set up like this. And yeah, so I nerded out on that. I was like, oh, that's the part. Okay, awesome.
So it was really cool. If you go back last year, and maybe they'll do it this time, they did it. And I can't remember if it was a network or I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was Motor Trend that did it. But for Gymkhana 10, so this is Gymkhana 11, that they're just calling Gymkhana 2020. But Gymkhana 10, they did like an 8-part documentary series with Ken Block on like all of the stuff, and it's like how much testing they do and how much, I mean, he's out there and he's driving it flat out. He's doing everything, but none of it's one take. They do these stunts so many different times, but yeah, it is absolutely amazing. So we'll see. What they are anticipating is that there will be a response Gymkhana video from Ken Block.
Really? Okay.
Because it's one of those things. I mean, I don't know why Ken didn't do it this year, or they decided to do it in a different manner, but they did, which is, do whatever you want, please give us cool content. But yeah, I think it may become a versus kind of a situation. Like, this is what Pastrana did. Yeah. Like, I've seen 10 years of what Ken Block can do. Now I want to see now we're going to see a versus thing, because where Ken Block is much more precise in all of his turns. He's all, especially when he's drifting and going around corners and doing donuts and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, he is trying to be as close as he can and in so much control. And where Travis Pastrana is the opposite of that, where he is just, let's go flat out as hard as we can.
Yeah,
it's the amount of control these guys have of these vehicles, and watching Pastrana like the whole time, like when they go to the inside, the car shots and everything. I mean, he has a look of like almost like, is this going to work? And then terror at the same time.
Well, can you?
And imagine? I know a lot of that's G-forces because of the turns and how hard he's going and how fast he's going. And then the other part is like, just like, I hope this works.
I can't imagine being those guys. And I mean, especially Travis Pastrana. I mean, he's picked up rally driving, whereas Ken Block has been doing this for a long time. And don't get me wrong, Pastrana has been doing it for quite a while now as well. But that wasn't his first thing. His first thing was motocross. That was that was, he did motocross and he did Nitro Circus and he did all of this other stuff. And then it's like, yeah, let's do rally driving. And it's absolutely insane. But
I want to learn to do this stuff.
There's a place in Austin where you can learn. It's just extremely expensive.
I could see a meme where it's like, for Subaru guys, like, what is it? They have that thing where it's like, what I see when I drive my car, what other people see, and what I'm actually doing. Yeah.
No, you might have to make one of those for you.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to take? I mean, we've been going a while now. Do we want to get into?
We can take a break real quick.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay, that's fine.
There we go.
Isaiah, give your dad his headphones.
No, he's having fun.
And we're back. Isaiah stole Alan's headphones.
Yeah.
Rotten kid.
It's fine. No, he's having fun. Plus, it keeps him quiet. So, yeah. The cat's chasing in. He's telling the cat no. That's fine.
He's strong like a bull, so they may come back to you in pieces. You may have to spring for those $500 Apple headphones.
No, sir.
Same here. So let's get into weekends. Who wants to go first? If by default needs to be, I will go first.
Yeah, that's fine. You go first.
Cool. We didn't really go out anywhere this weekend. Still trying to stay safe from the Roni. Very happy that we're close to getting vaccine approval and distribution throughout the U.S. That's going to be wonderful and very helpful for us to get back to normal or whatever new normal is. This weekend was wrought with challenges with my son, who he was just.
I'm thankful I'm not the only one.
I think our son's fucking up. They're both 15 and they're fucking up. They're just fucking up in different ways.
Yeah.
So his stuff is kind of school related, not turning stuff in. I mean, I know he's in class from home. I know he's doing that stuff, but he is just not getting his shit turned in. So the school this past Friday had an asynchronous day. They sent a thing out on Wednesday. It wasn't a lot of notice, but they sent a thing out on Wednesday and said, hey, on Friday, we're having an asynchronous day. So if you need to catch up on stuff, catch up on stuff. And it was like, all right, cool. So I sat with him. We went through all of his stuff on the program that they're using for virtual learning. Hey man, you need to email your teachers about these things. And my son is on the spectrum, so it makes communicating with him more difficult because, it's one of and he's a very smart kid, but it's one of those things where it's like, is he being a dumbass because he's 15 or is he being a dumbass because his brain's wired different? I don't know which one it is. So we go through on Wednesday, we go through all the stuff and like, hey, email your teachers, do this stuff. Hey, when you email your teachers, attach myself, CC me and your mom and the special ed coordinator at the school, just so they're aware of everything that's going on. Because if the teacher comes back with something crazy or doesn't respond to you at all, or doesn't respond, and I can't, or responds and I can't see it, well, we need to do something because I'm your dad. I have to make sure that everything's cool. Well, he just emails teachers. We get to Friday and it's asynchronous day. And so I talk to him in the morning. I'm like, all right, we have kind of the day plotted out. Like, these are the things you're going to work on. This is what needs to be done. And I went in there at like 10 o'clock in the morning and I catch him fucking playing Destiny 2. And I'm like, and I go off on his ass. And my wife and I have been having our own struggles with, how do we communicate with him? She has one way of thinking about stuff. I have a different way of thinking about stuff. And I finally, my wife is off of work. She works 10-hour shifts Monday through Thursday. So she's off on Fridays. So I go up to the bedroom and I said, I'm tapping out. I don't know what the fuck else to do. I've done all of the things I know to do to get him to do the things that need to be done. And I've sat with him. I've tried to help him learn how to make a to-do list and to track the work he's doing and give him these tools, but I can't make him use the tools. And so we go through this whole thing, and he, and she's like, okay, fine, we will. She's like, cool. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to sit with him. And so she sat in his room with him all day long while he got his shit done, which is great, but I can't do that every day.
No.
Yeah.
It's not practical. So we go through all of this kind of back and forth, and we're at the weekend and everything's everything's pretty okay. We it's cut to Monday. I look at his grades. I was like, hey, I wonder if any of the teachers upgraded, looked at their grades. And he's making, for the most part, A's and B's, except there was this one teacher of his computer science class that had no grades in the system at all whatsoever. So I look on Monday and my kid's making a 59. And I'm like, what is this shit? So I jump my son's ass and I'm like, you need to email him, copy all of us, tell us what's going on, figure out how to, do that stuff. And at the same time, I went in and I emailed one of the vice principals and the special ed coordinator and the teacher and said, hey, and I will say this, paraphrase this using more colorful language than I did in the professional email that I sent. But it was like, hey, your teacher didn't have any fucking grades in on Friday, so we didn't know what he needed to work on. So I can see, so imagine my fucking surprise when he's making a 59 now. So he's going to my son's going to reach out to the teacher. The teacher will respond with what he can make up. And this will not be tolerated anymore. Your teacher will have grades in the system, in a prompt manner. If not, I'm coming back to you and something will have to be done about it with the teacher. And I don't know what, if anything, they said to the teacher, but we got an email about it 2 hours later. It was like, Xander can turn in whatever he wants to turn in with no penalty.
Wow.
Nice.
And I'm not the guy who's looking for, I mean, if my kid didn't turn in the fucking work and there needs to be a penalty, that's fine. I accept that. That's you fucked up, you have a consequence. So sure. That's you have to deal with, right? But I'm not going to sit there and say like, listen, stupid ass teacher, you didn't put shit up. You didn't have things done the right way on your end. You got to make sure that your house is in order while I can't, my job is to take care of my kid. I can't have it's not my job to make sure your teachers are doing the right thing. That's your shit. So then because of this, we have to give my son some punishment because there's more stuff that he hadn't done that we didn't take care of, that he should have been taken care of. And we're just like, all right, dude, what can we do that's easy? So we give him it's like, all right, dude, for the next 2 days, no games on your computer, no nothing. I'm trusting you to do this, that, and the other. So he goes, so I have a conversation with him. I'm like, listen, I'm not taking your computer out of your room, or I'm not taking away, the power cord or anything like that to stop you from doing this stuff. Cause he was kind of bitching. It was like, why are you giving me the ability when I'm just going to fuck up? And I'm like, no, dude, I'm giving you enough rope to hang yourself with. Like, you can either do the right thing or you can do the wrong thing. And I'm going to be checking up on you to make sure you're doing the right thing or the wrong, I'm going to be doing this stuff, but I'm giving you the opportunity to do what's best. That's how you learn. And an hour and a half later, it's about 8:30 at night, I go to his room to remind him that he needs to do the dishes. I'm not bitching at him. And I walk in, and what's he doing?
Playing Destiny.
What class? And I don't give a fuck what class. Class in session now, motherfucker. What class?
Yeah.
And so it's like, and he's super disappointed in himself and he's whatever. And I'm just like, dude, I fucking told you what I was going to do. I fucking told you. I told you exactly. I'm like, do you think I want to find you doing this shit? It was like, it was 2 days of no video games. That's all it is. So now you're at a week with nothing. And we've taken everything out of his room. Well, not everything out of his room. We've taken, like, the only gaming system he had in his room was a Switch. So we took the Switch away. We took his phone away. So he doesn't have possession of his phone, but he uses his phone for like alarms and stuff to remind him like when class is starting or whatever. So I found a little fabric pocket that you can stick on like on a laptop. It's used to like hold pens or like a wireless mouse or something like that. It's called Fillet. And I took it and I stuck it on his door, and that's where his phone lives now, on the outside of his door.
Ooh,
so he can still, so he can hear the phone. He can hear message. He can hear
that's
messages. He can hear. Yeah, he can hear if the phone rings. He can hear it. So like if his mom tries to call him for something or whatever, he can hear it. And then at night, once he's done with schoolwork, we take the power cable away from him so he can't fuck around. So, yeah, that's my weekend. My weekend was fraught with dealing with a kid that just doesn't want to. Again, it's like how much of this is teenager, how much of this is autism spectrum. And I think one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to try and find him a counselor that can help not only him, but help us to communicate with him. So,
parenting.
You know? Yeah, it's a fucking blast. Have all the kids. Jesus, don't have kids.
Are you looking forward to it, Alan?
I mean, yeah. I just hear, like, I've asked parents, like, does it get any easier? And they just go, it's different. It just gets different. Doesn't necessarily get easier. It just gets different.
No, it doesn't get easier. I mean, here's the thing. The thing that I've always, the one thing that I know works is kids are going to rebel. That's just what kids fucking do.
He does that now.
Yeah, but I mean, especially when they get into their teenager years. So if I can give my kids something to rebel about that I don't give a fuck about, cool. You know, if I have a good kid who's not out causing trouble or doing, he's not out fucking like, knocking over liquor stores and shit. I can say like, hey, I want you home at midnight. When I don't care if you come home till 2. That way, when you come home at 1 and you think your ass is going to be busted, I'm going to bust you, but I'm not going to bust you that bad. You know what I mean? I mean, it's that kind of what balance do we do? So anyway, that was my weekend. Who next?
So my weekend, my car. So I don't really know. I mean, I don't really think we went anywhere. Friday I had off, so I took my car to go get the registration done because it's been out since like June. Got that done. My coolant was dry, so of course the shop charged me like $150 or $100 to coolant flush. But so I did that, and then drove to Denton, got my registration done, so my car is legal now. I don't have to worry, no check engine lights. I got all
Why do
my
you have to go to Denton?
Because it's Denton County, so that's where.
Do they not have satellite tax offices anywhere?
They do. So it's not like way down in Denton. It was more like Carrollton is where I had to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
all right, because you were like, I have to go to Denton. I was like,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
I live in Tarrant County, but I can go to Southlake and get my shit taken care of. I don't have to drive, across the state for it.
Yeah, I got you. So I mean, I did that, and then Saturday, did Rudy's on Saturday. I don't remember too much from it actually. For some reason, I don't know. Came back from Rudy's, had breakfast with the family, and I think we just kind of hung around here.
How do you not eat breakfast at Rudy's with those breakfast tacos? Just smelling that place up with its goodness.
Sorry, I bring Rudy's home for breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So brought Rudy's home for everybody. We ate here, and I don't really recall what more we did after that. I know that. So Sunday we went to Grace Point in Anna.
Man, that's
great service there, and then it's a little bit of a drive, but great service there. And then pastor was like, "Hey, do you want to do worship transition next week?" And I'm like, "What?" So like after the last song, I'm gonna get up and say my little spiel, and then go into the regular service. So that's coming up this Sunday. Or by the time this comes up, I would have already done it. So
what is a worship transition? What do you say?
Worship transition, basically. If there's any scripture that comes to mind, it's just like a little. I say something to the congregation. If there's a scripture that comes to mind, I bring that up and talk about why this, what the scripture verse means to me, and then say a prayer with everybody, and then that's it.
John 3:16. No, just that's the easy one.
No,
There was
I had something else. It's Isaiah 64 verse 8. That's the verse that we got. I like it.
There was a time when I did a lot of stuff with the youth in my early 20s at the Methodist church I used to attend. And I had stopped going to like services. And so there was one service where the youth were doing the entire service.
Oh, yeah.
And like the youth gave the message and all of that stuff. Yeah. And so my responsibility for that thing was I was to announce the prayer request. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this before. I've told the story before, but I don't know if I said it on the podcast. If I have, sorry, you have to hear it again. But the guy that was getting, I went through, you do the prayer requests and all of that stuff. And there was a guy there whose name was Mr. Munch.
No,
his name was Dick Munch.
Oh no.
And I had to say, we need prayers for Dick Munch as he goes through surgery. And it took everything I had not to just bust out laughing. And it was one of those things, he knew exactly what he was doing because he would introduce himself as Dick Munch. He knew he was an older gentleman. I mean, this is in the 90s, late 90s. And so he would have said that it was, and so, I mean, and he was in his 70s at the time. So he was fully in on the joke and he loved that shit. It was like, I'm Dick Munch. And it was like, you fucking with me.
He's like it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much Sunday. Had a Zoom call with my sister. Asked her about like if she's coming down for Christmas. With everything the way it is, and she probably won't come down for Christmas this year. Which is
they filming and stuff there? Is she working now?
Yeah. So they are working. Did I tell you guys about the Oculus she has?
No.
Okay, so when she's filming before COVID, when they would tell them, hey, so they would tell her writing crew, hey, we're going to go film at these places next week. So they would send out, she would go out with the other writers and they would go to the places in person and go check them out.
Yeah, scout the location.
Scout the locations. Do they have enough room for all of our equipment? Where are we going to set up? That kind of thing. So now because of COVID, they're not able to do that. So HBO sent her an Oculus. It's not the Rift. It's Oculus Quest, I think is what they sent her.
Mm-hmm.
But she has her own Oculus. She called me like she was so excited about this because she was like, Alan, you have to get one of these things. This is so awesome. It's an Oculus Quest 2. That's what they sent her.
That's the newest one, I think.
Yeah. So they sent her one of those, and she was telling me just about the little setup and how there's like a dancing game and all that stuff in it. But she was like, it is so awesome. So basically, they have a camera crew that's, I guess licensed or whatever. They're able to actually go out into the venues and they set up their 3D cameras and they do 3D cameras of the entire building. And then they upload it to wherever they're uploading it to. And then she accesses it from the Oculus and is able to walk around the area with the Oculus.
That's so cool.
And I was like, no way. She's like,
that's rad.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the main thing that's changed as far as filming goes. They have started, I think they have started filming again. But she was just like, she was saying that it's tough because normally she's in a room with all the other writers and you only get so much over. I mean, even with this, where we're on Zoom, yeah, we can see each other's facial expressions and stuff, but still there's something to be said about body language that you get when you're talking things out and talking out ideas and whatnot.
Fully agree.
So yeah. So there's been a little bit of a challenge, but other than that, I mean, yeah, she still working hard, man.
Yeah, no, the reason I asked is because I thought with California kind of going back into certain lockdowns and stuff like that,
seems like it.
What would they, I didn't know if she would have been like, I need to, I'm going to come to Texas just because I don't want to lock down like this, or whatever. But listen, as far as like the Zoom and stuff goes, it's so weird to think that if this pandemic would have happened even 10 years ago, we would have been. We couldn't have done this stuff. No. There's no way. There's no way we couldn't have. I mean, working on Zoom and through Microsoft Teams and
Slack or whatever,
WebEx and all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
man. Hey man, it's kept me in a job it's kept me it's kept me still working. And I'm able to work from home. I'm not a fan of working from home, but if that's what we get to
I actually don't mind it. I'm actually, so like before my wife and the boy get home, I mean, I start dinner, which I'm sure that they appreciate, because by the time he gets to the door, he's already like, feed me now. And 9 times out of 10, dinner's already ready. So
you're a good man.
Well, I mean, it's also, I look at it also as like, you know, one less thing that she has to take care of when she gets here, you know.
That'll keep you married for a while. You just know.
Yeah, it better. No, it definitely will. So yeah, I mean, just like, yeah. So we talked about Christmas.
Wearing t-shirts and working in basketball shorts all day is pretty fucking sweet too.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah.
You wear that much?
Yeah. And then I
yeah. I mean, I have a 15-year-old in the house, so it's not like I can just like walk around like in my all together.
It's a locker room almost. Yeah.
I'm helicoptering all day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see like a news story of local man arrested for helicoptering during Zoom call.
Yeah. But yeah, I get all the Amazon packages that show up, so I already know what all shows up, and yeah, so it's been fun. I don't open them, but yeah.
Oh, I so would.
I'd be like, babe, what'd you get? She's like, I can't tell you. And I was like, I'm going to open it. She's like, you better not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, I mean, this past weekend was kind of low key, I guess. Didn't really go out. Didn't really do any shopping. Actually, no, we went to the home store. We went to the home store in Target just to go grab a couple small things. But
I haven't requested my Christmas list, so I'm wondering what's up. When are you going to do that?
Oh, your Christmas list?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you want?
I can send it over.
I'm going to give you protein powder.
Yeah.
Right, or pre-workout.
Actually, you know what? Pre-workout would be taken right now. Yeah, I would definitely take pre-workout because we got SoulCon coming up in January. So actually, you know, that's the other thing. So on my weekend, the other thing that I've started looking at was telescopes. For some reason, and I think it's because I've been watching The Expanse and looking at like planets and all that. I mean, The Expanse isn't so much about planets, more about what I get at politics and the stuff going around up there.
Mm-hmm.
But also reading about like the Christmas star and how Jupiter and Saturn are going to be the closest they've been in 800 years, it makes me want to go get a telescope. And it's something I was like, man, I should have put this on a Christmas list. And it's not an expensive telescope because they have, so I looked at some that were like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like a custom thing. You have to like call in advance and get it built and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the telescope I was looking at was like $189, something like that. But you hook your phone up to it and it'll like, there's a star map app and all that stuff. And it will, the telescope will pinpoint where whatever celestial body you're trying to find and point it so that you don't really have to go like hunting for it, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really wanting to get a telescope.
You ever listen to Star Talk?
No.
Oh, it's a great podcast show, whatever. And wow, if I listen to it and it just makes my brain hurt thinking about the universe and us in our solar system and then our galaxy and then the galaxies and the galaxies and the black holes and the sun.
And I think that's what makes me want to get a telescope because I'm looking at, you know, just, I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of weird how like, as you know, as I get older and I'm watching Isaiah grow up and it's like, I want to, the stuff that I want to show him that I wasn't able to see when I was young. You know, I read about him in books and like you watch TV shows about the universe and all that stuff. I want to be able to like show him and our other children, like we'll go camping one day or one night during the summer when it's clear outside. Hey, we'll set up the telescope in the backyard and check out and see what we can find. I mean, to the point to where like I'm comparing like telescopes that you can see, like definitely you can see planetary objects. And then at the same time, you can also maybe see some deep space stuff, which I really want to see deep space stuff. I really want to look at like a galaxy through a telescope. And
yeah, I would highly recommend. We haven't done it, but my sister a couple of years ago, she and her husband and my niece packed up and they went to the McDonald Observatory out in West Texas.
Yeah.
Because there was a meteor shower. And so they just went out there and were able, you know, there's a visitor center there. I don't know what it's like during pandemic time, but usually it's like, it's open to the public for certain things. And it's, you know, she said it was, they stayed in kind of a not great motel and just kind of had a lot of fun. You know,
Yeah.
it was very, very cool.
The last time I was in California, Amy took us to the Griffith Observatory. And when we were there, I mean, they were selling it. I mean, I don't know, there was a ton of people out there. But also there was a lot of guys or people that had telescopes and stuff, and they were setting up and all that. And I was like, man, this would be a perfect spot to like set up a telescope. I mean, yeah, you still have a lot of light pollution because it's LA, but you're above like quite a bit of the smog. And then up there also, it's pretty clear, so you can see stuff. And I was like, man, I'd love to like hang out here and like bust out a telescope and actually like try to find some stuff. So I don't know. It's something I'm planning to do. Like,
so what's on the other side of space?
I don't know.
I want to know.
I mean, that and like I'm reading about like the Voyager 2 the Voyager 2 space probe, and yeah, just I have like all these.
Or Pluto, I don't know. I'm just asking.
I've got like all these meteor showers and stuff set up on my Google Calendar, and yeah. So
I believe the Northern Lights are viewable tonight and tomorrow from North America.
Yeah, from as low as Michigan, I think.
We're not even close.
When I was a kid, this had to have been late 80s, 88, 89. I remember the Northern Lights for some reason were viewable all the way down here. And I remember going outside and looking, and it wasn't like it was it wasn't like the amazing thing that you would see like up in the Arctic Circle or anything. Yeah. But it was, I remember the sky had a weird purple hue to it. And it was one of those things like, man, that was cool.
Yeah. And you always see the shots of like when people go camping in Utah or like Montana or something, and they have like the backdrop is like a purple sky, and you have like the streak of stars because that's like the arm of the Milky Way that you're seeing. And I'm like,
you don't have to go that far. You can go to Possum Kingdom.
You can go to Possum Kingdom. Yeah. But I mean, again, it's something that like I would love to go do.
Yeah, I think it was back in '91 when I observed some Northern Lights with some mushroom tea.
I smoked some Northern Lights one time.
Yeah.
Scott, give us your weekend, brother.
What's up, Matt?
So, hey, my weekend, not real active as well. I did get to pick up Jessica from Blair Automotive. We had a app repair on there. I love my car. Oh, my goodness. She's so nice to me. So Friday night, watched a little bit of Mando. Saturday, took a COVID nap. Post-COVID nap. I still get a little fatigued, man, to be honest with you. After my nap, woke up a little hungry, so went to Wingstop and had 4 atomic wings, and was up all night. I won't tell you what I was doing, but it was a rough night. Continued watching the Flight Attendant on HBO Max. Pretty good little series. I like Kylie Cuoco, whatever her name is.
Kaylee Cuoco?
Yeah, Kaylee Cuoco.
Cuoco.
Yeah,
Cuckoo.
okay, we'll just stick with that.
Cuckoo.
Sunday, the typical, Frisco Diner, church. Watched F1, best race of the year. Did a Saturday workout, which is unusual. Killed a 723 calorie workout. Go Scott!
Whoa!
And did some laundry. Finished up The Undoing with what's her name? Married to the country singer, redhead. Help me out.
Nicole McIntyre.
Nicole Kidman. Yes.
Oh.
Really good series, man. There was Reba McIntyre.
Well,
would.
It's a redhead.
It's a redhead. The Undoing, man, it was pretty good. It's 5 episodes long, and it's a pretty good little series, little twists and turns through the series, and highly recommend it. But that was my weekend.
Okay, right on. Yeah, nice. I also watched The Mandalorian and watching The Expanse. And, man.
So we want to get into The Mandalorian?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, did anybody else think that Boba Fett's outgrown his armor?
Yeah, he's a little pudgy.
Yeah, he's a little pudgy.
Yeah. It's been in the universe. It's been 5 years since he wore it last. So he could probably pack on a few.
Hanging with the Sandman.
But he was still badass.
Yes, he was.
Oh, dude, it's so made up.
Knee blasters. Who knew he had that? Had no idea.
Yeah,
I had to rewind it when I was watching. I was like, what was that?
No, it made up for like the crappy way he stupidly went into the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi. So, because it was, it was one of those things, like he was supposed to be this badass, and to go out like that sucked. And now you get to see him. The next time you see him, it's like, no, he is still a badass. It's like,
that's why all the scars on his face. Right.
So and he still has Slave One.
Yeah. I was, man, what a gut punch when they blew up the Razor Crest.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Just destroyed. It was like, oh man, that sucks. What really sucks is the people that like have like pre-ordered toys for it and they haven't come out yet, and it's like, oh yeah, it's gone now.
I tried to order the Lego version of it, and only $125.
Yeah,
and it's not that big.
It's super cool. What a great episode. I like the stuff at the beginning when it was just him and Grogu, when it was the Mandalorian and Grogu, and he was, chuckling at him, and he was really having this bonding experience between the two of them, and then, the fact that at the end of the episode when Grogu's throwing around a couple of stormtroopers like nobody's business, and I was like, oh dude, that's so cool. And then part of me was like, oh, maybe that's not so great, maybe that's a little bit of dark sidey stuff happening that we don't necessarily want to happen.
I had the same thought.
No,
just like Darth Vader.
Like Annie.
When the stormtroopers were coming out of the ships, did anybody else hear the clown car music going on?
No.
Where did they put all those stormtroopers?
No. But did you notice they had yellow stormtroopers now? Not now, but they had yellow ones. There was ones with like yellow, the mortar troopers.
Yeah. So that's that's another thing within.
Well, not like, new, but
within Star Wars canon and stuff is like, the ranks are able to be seen. Like you saw the guy that had like the captain guy that had like the orange shoulder thing. Yeah, pauldron on his shoulder. And it was like, but it was so.
And how many times is Mando going to try and get into that force field? Or
I know. I was like, bro, give it up. You can't get in, man.
Yeah.
Who do you think he contacted?
Oh, dude, that's like all the speculation on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan's dead in the timeline at this point.
Yeah,
because this is after Return of the Jedi.
I apologize. I meant to say Luke.
So there's
Luke's
speculation.
Alive.
There's speculation of Luke. There's speculation it could be Ahsoka. There's speculation it could be another character, Ezra from the cartoon series. There's speculation that it could be Mace Windu.
That's right, because he is still alive.
No, he's not. We don't know.
Well,
no, he's so. No, the Emperor shocked him
out the window
and threw him out the window. But Darth Maul was cut in half and fell down that thing, and he lived.
Yeah,
because he's in that. Because that's one of the plots of the cartoon movies is that he lived, and it was even in the. That was like the big thing in the Han Solo movie was Darth Maul. So they're saying that it could be Mace Windu. If it is Mace Windu, that could be very, very interesting if Boba Fett sticks around for a while, because Boba Fett watched Mace Windu chop his dad's head off.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
So it could, I mean, there's so much that could happen with the storylines that it's like, you know, I'm sad that there are only 2 episodes left.
Yes,
I'm like, I just please keep making this and giving me more, because it's so good.
And there's only going to be 4
really
seasons. Is that my understanding?
I don't know. I haven't heard a season count on it yet. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's totally possible.
I want to say I read somewhere that they're already talking about a Ahsoka Tano spinoff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how real that is, though. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, if it happened, it wouldn't happen for another couple of years.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I mean, so far I mean, I don't know, who knows what the contract looks like for Rosario Dawson, but so far, I mean, I would be really sad if we only saw her the one time.
Yeah.
In the Mandalorian. I hope that we see her again in this season, but
I think that's too big of a character just to see once.
Yeah, but then again, it could just be one of those like kind of fan service things. It's like, hey, here's Ahsoka. She's in this universe still.
Or like Bo-Katan too.
Yeah, same thing with Bo-Katan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope that they. I just want more. Just keep giving me more. It's
agreed.
So good. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing. Just an amazing job.
Who directed this episode?
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. Nice.
So, Dusk Till Dawn, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, that guy.
Never watched it.
Oh, it was a fun kids movie. I mean, it was a great kids movie because he's a famous director, and basically he took the bedtime stories that he and his kids were making and turned them into a real movie.
Nice.
Desperado, right?
Desperado, Robert Rodriguez. So it's and he's a Texas guy.
UT.
But and my understanding is that he wasn't supposed to be a director this season.
Oh,
so okay. I think that there was going to, and I don't know who the other director was, but someone wasn't able to do for whatever, timing conflicts or whatever it was, it didn't happen. But and so they got Robert Rodriguez.
Nice. Okay. Like it, Texas.
So very, very cool. So where are you in the Expanse now, Alan?
The Expanse. So right where I'm at is where the Na'vi was supposed to be used as a weapon, more or less, to push the blue stuff into the sun. And the blue stuff moved.
Yep. The whole giant asteroid moved.
They're hearing voices and stuff off of it. They're talking to that one guy who was like, Amos was like, hey, you ever talk to a pedophile? And you talk to them. And Amos was basically saying, like, you ever talk to somebody where this is their thing and they can go on and on and on about it? And he's like, yeah, I talked to him and I was telling him about what I saw on Arrows, and he kept going on and on about it. He wants to know what's going on. So basically he went back to the main characters like, hey, this guy can tell us a lot of stuff that's going on in Arrows. He knows what's going on. So let's go figure out, get some more information.
No, it's it's a great show. And I think you're kind of hitting the tail end of season 1 and season 2 and halfway through season 3 ramp up. It's like everything happens, and you're at that point now where it's like, I have to keep watching. I need to watch another episode to see what's going on. And then halfway through season 3, halfway through season 3, the whole thing changes.
Yeah, I mean, you learn the truth about Fred Johnson. You see, what's her name? Her last name in the show, Ashravala, I think. But I think that she's getting closer. She's getting closer and closer to the truth. She's getting really close to figuring out what's actually real, as opposed to all the politics and the strings that are being pulled. She's like, no, there's something else going on. I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Dude, just wait till you get to season 2, man. And then season 3, and then season 4 was kind of slow.
Yeah.
But the season 5 comes out sometime in December. Weeks. Either the 16th or the 20th. I can't remember which. Okay. But yeah, it's super, super cool. What do you say we do a Wheelo question? Do we want to do 1 or 2?
Let's do 1.
Just 1 tonight. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go to the wheel and have fun.
It changes every time.
Yeah, I like to play around with it. Well, welcome everybody back to the weekend question wheel, where we spin the wheel and hopefully answer some of your questions that you send us. We've got 1. Actually, I think we got 3 on the wheel. 1 from my cousin John. We got 1 from Chuck Phelps, and the newest one, Jorge Miave.
Yep. Thank you, Jorge, for submitting. And anybody who wants to submit, just if you're watching this on YouTube, just leave a question in the comment section. If you're listening to us on podcast, then write into just email us. Give them the email.
Alan? I don't know.
Alan.
Oh, yeah, sorry. theweekend@gmail.com.
So email us there with a question. Just in the subject line, put question for the wheel.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. All right. Spin this puppy.
All right, let's go. Every time I look at this, it cracks me up. I'm like, why did I put a bullfighter on this question? What is your favorite family tradition? I just cracks
bullfighting.
Yeah, bullfighting. Yes, maybe that's a bucket list thing for me. We start a bullfighting tradition. But with that said, guys, what is your favorite family traditions that y'all do?
Sure. Favorite family tradition, and we're not going to do it this year because of the troubles, the badness out in the world. Christmas Eve with my family. So Christmas Eve, we have is when we do our family Christmas with my side of the family, and for decades it's the meal that we have, our Christmas meal, and it has, my grandmother was Sicilian, and so for Christmas we have homemade lasagna. So with the sauce that you cook down for days, and you make the fresh noodles, and you get the fresh ricotta cheese and put everything in it, and you make the meat sauce, and you cook the meatballs and the sausage and all of this stuff. It's one of those things where that's the only time of the year where I eat lasagna, because everybody else's lasagna sucks. So when my grandmother passed away, my father started making the lasagna, and so we've had this tradition, this meal that is our meal for, but that's the only thing I can remember eating for Christmas dinner. And it is, that's my favorite family tradition that we have, just because it goes back so long. And the fact that the reason that it happened is because one year my grandmother didn't want another turkey. She didn't want, and she was Sicilian, came over to the US when she was probably around Isaiah's age, and then went to grew up in New York and Brooklyn when she met my grandfather during World War II, and he brought her to Grand Prairie, Texas in the late 40s. So it's one of those things where it was like, so it was total culture shock. And finally, after so many years of eating turkey,
she was like, no more.
Twice, basically in a month, she was like, I don't want this shit. And so she started making lasagna. So that's my favorite family tradition.
Awesome. Mine would also have to do with Christmas too. My wife calls me a cornball for this, but ever since I moved out of the house, something that my mom has always wanted us to do, and my dad too, was always to want the kids to come back to the house for Christmas, spend the night on Christmas Eve, wake up on Christmas morning, have breakfast together, hot chocolate, stay up the night before, hot chocolate. We go to midnight service, have breakfast together next morning, and then we open presents, sometime early afternoon.
Any cream in that hot chocolate?
So like last year, I brought some winter wassail, I think is what I had over there, and I brought that over there. My sister and I, we spiked it with a little whiskey, and it was good. It was good, and it's going to be sad that she's not going to be able to come down this time, but it's understandable just because of all the stuff going on, and also my parents are older, so we're also taking all the precautions not to jeopardize any of that. We did have a wedding to go to this past weekend, but okay, never mind then. So that's been one of my It's one of my favorite family traditions. Yes, my mom when I was single, she would always ask me like, "Hey, are you gonna come spend the night?" And I'm like, "No, I'll be home in the morning. Like I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go home." And then now it's like, yeah, after, yeah.
So well, it's one of those things where, especially once you have kids, now you understand why they want it, why they were like, come over on Christmas or come over and do this special thing that we want to do. Yeah, no, I was the same way. I didn't get that stuff until I was a parent, of like why parents want their kids home at certain certain times of the year and stuff like that. It's for a little bit of nostalgia, and it's also one of those things where it's like, okay, well, this is our tradition,
Yeah, and like this year's going to be like even better for Christmas because now this guy will actually understand a little bit about what's going on. I mean, last year like he opened some presents, but this year it'll be better.
Oh yeah, it gets great.
Yeah.
Scott, so what about you, man? My family tradition, Justin, is very similar to yours. For the past 26 years or so in that area, I've got two friends, Vern and Joe T. Joe T is Italian heritage, and we might have a lasagna bake-off, sir.
Okay.
So yeah, she fixes.
I need an invite.
I might. Well, I get to bring some home with me each year, but yeah, there's no sharing, sir. You have to be there to indulge. But yeah, so she fixes amazing lasagna. It started off with Vern, Joe T, and myself, and then past several years, it's grown to probably 10 to 15 people. So yeah, and that is actually happening this Sunday. So. Joe T, if you're listening, what do I need to bring? Although this podcast will be after the lasagna, but we'll have something to talk about next week. Yeah, so lasagna party at Vernon Joe T's, something that I definitely look forward to. And I look forward, she goes, I go, how much can I take home? And usually I take a little bit more than I'm allowed.
Yeah, it's one of those things that usually, because the size of the family has gotten smaller over the years, like even with extended family and stuff, it's now like there's just now 8 of us. It's my 3, my sister's 3, and my dad and his wife. So it's one of those things where, I mean, it used to be we would make like 4 or 5 pans of lasagna, and now we're making 2. And the reason we make 2 is 1 to eat and 1 for everyone to split as we leave.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, it's the meatballs. It's how
sounds
you make,
delicious, man.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like once you start learning the recipes and all of that stuff, it's like, oh yeah, what do you put in the meatballs? And it was like, well, you put golden raisins in there. What? And people are like, why the fuck are there raisins in your meatballs? Like, because it gives it flavor. We also put pinole and pine nuts go in there as well, and it's just the different kind of, it's how we do it. And you get the meatballs and you brown them off to where when you're cooking them, they're almost look burnt on the outside, and then you put them in the sauce and they cook all the way through for usually about a day and a half as you're making the sauce or making the gravy. So yeah, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Closing remarks, gentlemen.
Please stay safe, and we're all in this thing together. So be nice to each other, be kind, and be safe when you're going out.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Stay safe out there. Treat everybody with kindness. Like and subscribe. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. All right. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at theweekenda2z@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facegram and Instabook at A2Z Weekend. You can also search for us on YouTube. Past that, you can go to anchor.fm/A2Z Weekend, where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast. If you have something that wants to be put on the wheel, comments. Leave a comment. Send us an email. Carrier pigeon, smoke signals.
We also accept any kind of money. So just saying.
Yes.
Yeah, we also enjoy money. All right, guys, we'll see you on the flip flop.
Pow pow.
Hey, welcome to Costco. I love you.